Jill with Angel Creations. Welcome back to my craft room. Excuse me, I'm a little hot mess today. I am getting ready for a hurricane, so I just thought I would take a quick break and do a craft and calm down. Most of everything is already done. I have all the big furniture, outside furniture, and all those things put away. I'm leaving my bird houses out, not my bird houses, but my bird feeders out until the last minute. But anyway, if you are in the predicted what's the word? If you're going to be hitting, if this storm is going, if Hurricane Ian is going to be hitting you guys, please be safe. I'm shaking up a brand new bottle of pumpkin chalk paint by Waverly, and I wanted to show you what we're going to be doing. We're going to be painting this pumpkin that you get at the Dollar Tree. But did you know that there is a seam around this pumpkin, and if you lightly put a little heat on that seam, and I think I used this too a little bit, just to go like this with it, you know, like a can opener. This comes apart, and then you have two halves. See this little notch? That fits in this little notch. So to put it back together, you have to put the pieces of the puzzle back together correctly. And so I wanted to open this, but we are going to paint the inside of this as well as the outside. So I'm going to be using this pumpkin color from Waverly, and I am going to go ahead and get this all painted up, and we will be right back. Okay, now we have 2 coats of the pumpkin color from Waverly chalk paint on both halves, inside and out. And now we're going to put our puzzle back together for a moment. Let me see here. And I'm going to put on a tiny bit of, I thought this was truffle, but it's hazelnut, also a Waverly chalk paint, but you can use anything, khaki, apple barrel, you can even use a little white, you can even use a little antique Waverly wax if you want, but I just want a little tiny bit of color just to add a little dimension to my pumpkin. I almost considered doing a little tiny bit of blue, believe it or not, but anyway, so I've got my pumpkin back together, and I'm just going to dab my brush off onto a paper towel, and then I'm just going to start giving this a little bit of dimension right at the top, right at the sides, because this is going to be open. That's why I'm putting it together. I want my lines to match. If they're going down my pumpkin, I want them to be, you know, the same. I don't want it to be off, so I'm just giving that some dimension there. A little dab, dab, dab. I'm hoping you can see this. I hope it's coming out on camera. It's a lot lighter than the Waverly antique wax, but anything in this color hue, you know what I mean, a little bit of dimension gives it a little bit more life. All right, I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna need to get a little bit of that. I don't like to put my brush in my jar, but there wasn't enough on the cap. I'm gonna get some of that off on the cap and then off on my brush. All right, that probably isn't enough. All right, so I'm going to go up from the bottom now, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then I'm just gonna blend it all in. Going around, and I'm just gonna soften up those lines. I'm just going to turn it on my tabletop. Just like that. I'm beating this pumpkin up a little bit. We need a little bit more color on the top here. Alright, now the stem, let me just take a good look at this. I'm going to get a baby wipe because I have a little too much in one spot. See what happened right there? So I'm just going to wipe a little bit of that off. I get an itchy nose, and then I'm going to put a little bit of it back on. There. Now my stem, I'm going to take this without dabbing it, and I'm just going to make my stem dark. Brown, you know what I mean? Going for more of a brown stem. Hate to do this, but I got to go in. Need to pick up a little more paint on my brush. Alright, so now we have a brown stem. We can come out from our stem. There we go. Alright, that's a much better looking pumpkin now. I'm going to put my hazelnut paint away. And I am going to add a tiny bit of white on top of this. But you don't have to do this. If this is not the look that you are going for, by all means, you do not have to do this. Actually, this one's not open yet. Let me get a little bit. This is really almost empty. I might not even be able to get any on the lid. I'm hoping I am. Oh yeah. And I'm just going to use this same brush because this is almost gone. And dab, dab, dab. A little bit more. And now I'm just going to give this a soft dusting again. This time in my bumps that aren't in the grooves. You know, the bumps that are bumped out. Last time I focused on the grooves with the other color. Now I'm going down the bumps. Yeah, this is cute. And we're going to do the same thing from the bottom up. And then we're going to open this pumpkin. And we're going to, so a long time ago, a real long time ago, I had a child, and it was Halloween. He was born actually October 29th in 1987. His name is Nathan. We call him Nate the Great. And he is 34 years old now and lives in a group home. He has autism, gives back way more than he takes, trust me. Let me just get a little bit more down near the stem there. And so I got this beautiful floral arrangement, you know, for having a baby while I was in the hospital. And it was a beautiful ceramic glass or ceramic pumpkin, and it was full of a beautiful arrangement of flowers, and I will never forget it. I still have the glass pumpkin. I put it out every year for harvest. But anyways, this pumpkin reminds me of that. So we are going to open up this pumpkin, and we are going to put a floral arrangement in it. And this part here where the notches is going to be our back. I have a couple of skewers from the Dollar Tree that we are going to use kind of as a, we're going to almost make this like a little clam shell. You know what I mean? Like we're going to make it like an open clam. And I'm thinking we're going to use these for the cover. But before we do that, I'm going to just cut a little bit of foam. And I'm going to put my foam piece in my bottom of my pumpkin. See, we can just cut that piece off. Yeah. Okay, so that'll be good. And then, but I also have a few rocks here from the Dollar Tree that I want to put down the bottom also, just to weigh my pumpkin down. So I'm just going to put a heap ton of glue all over the bottom. And I have this on high, but I do want to glue a lot of these rocks down. I'm just going to dump them in and hopefully I can get contact. I want each one to stay down. Put another little bit of heat ton on top of those. And we need a glue stick. Let's do the glue stick thingy. Put a few more glue down. And now I am going to glue my foam piece right inside. Just like that. And I am going to put you on pause because I'm going to sneeze. Okay, so now we are going, I have these two picks from the Dollar Tree. Everything's from the Dollar Tree. We have some of these ferns that came in a flat package. I have some of these eucalyptus and some bittersweet. And then I have a couple of little just odds and end things that we might shove in there too. So the first thing that I want to do though is probably put my, I'm thinking if I put one of these down in my pumpkin, my skewer, okay, so that I have an idea. So the first thing I want to do is put a couple of my ferns down in my floral foam. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue, and you know what, this might be too big. Let's see. I think I will cut this down just a hair. Not a hair, a little more than a hair, because I think it is just a little too long. So let's see if we can pull a few of those off so we have a little stem there. So I'm going to just stick, and let's do the same on the other side. We don't have to have it exact, but something close would be good. So pulled apple wire right out. All right, well, we will glue that one in. All right, so I'm just gonna stick these in my foam, put a little wire, a little glue on there, and then I'm gonna do the same on this side. Of course, we just pulled our wire out, so this is gonna have a little more glue. I'm just gonna glue that right to the pumpkin. Nobody's going to see that. All right, and then I am going to mostly use this other stuff to fill in. So I'm going to take my big picks and I'm going to use those first. So let's take this and give it a nice sharp. I need this bigger cutter here. I'm going to give that a nice sharp cut so that it will go into my, I'm using very sore hands, and I want that to be short because I want to stick that in the front of my arrangement. I'm going to put a little glue and I'm just going to stick that right down as far as I can. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm going to give it a nice sharp. It's a pretty thick stem, so I'm cutting it on a slant. Cutting it on a nice sharp slant so that I can put that in my floral foam, because if it's dull, it's going to be hard to get stuck into my floral foam. Alright, and then I'm just going to put this one down right in as far as it will go. In the same basic location here. Alright. Now, one of these came off when I was being rough with it, so I'm going to find the stem. I know I lost this somewhere. Well, gee willikers, where is that? Okay, well, I don't know where that is. I just pulled a flower off. I'm just gonna glue it. Just gonna glue it down right here. Right here. Next to my other one. And then I'm gonna stick some of these green eucalyptus stems in the back, and some in the front too. Like so. And again, I'm cutting these wires off at a nice, I think we can pull these up, at a nice slant so that it goes into my stem. I mean, not my stem. I'm sorry. I feel like I've got my mind on the hurricane. I need those to go into my floral foam. You know what I'm doing, even if I'm not saying it, right? You know what I'm doing. So, I'm going to put a little glob of glue up here because I want my stems to be up but not falling off. And I'm just going to cut that one too. And put this one in the front, middle. Whoop, that was hot, whatever I just touched. Alright, so now we have some in the middle. Now I'm going to take a few of these sprigs of bittersweet, which are so precious. Alright, so it looks like they each have like 2 at the top. So you're probably going to have to put a whole bunch in a little at a time. I'm not even going to glue these. I'm just going to stick these in. Here, there, and everywhere. It's just so cute. I love bittersweet, real bittersweet at home. When I say home, I'm talking about New England. I love that the birds come and eat it. My sister and I would go out and we would gather up some bittersweet off the trees, and we would make a grapevine wreath with it, and the birds would come and eat it right off our door, you know, and it was just awesome to have. But we don't really get that in Florida. Alright, so let's see how this is going to lay. Alright, I want to put another green or a greenery in the back. And I'm just going to push up I'm going to put another little glob of glue because it's got an end that this eucalyptus will slip right off. So I'm just going to push that up into the glue. And Let's see, this might need to be shortened just a tad, but I do see a problem back here, so I'm going to add some more glue before I put my last eucalyptus. I see where this is coming loose, and I don't want my foam to fall out. Alright, I'm going to just stick this one right in the back there. Now, when we put our pumpkin on the top here, let me see, I gotta turn this around. We're gonna smush this a little bit but that's what we want. Okay, we want this to look like it's coming out of a pumpkin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put my 2 sticks in, one on each side of, I'm going to show you, one on each side of the notch, okay? And I know they're sticking through the other side. We're going to cut that off. Let's cut it off right now. Okay, that is our back, and then this is going to stick on, but I think we're going to have to shorten those too. So these are just to be to help hold this up. And now I'm going to put some glue on the backing here, and I'm going to put some glue on my little spikes. And now I'm going to put my pumpkin down and close her up. Whoop. Just like that. I have to hold still. Ah, hold still, hold still. I might do another skewer just to help me hold this while it's drying. And I'm just gonna, I think that's down as far as it can go. I'm just gonna cut that off, and nobody's gonna see that. It's in the back, and I will give that a little zhuzhing up with paint, but you can't even see that right now. And I can cut a little bit more of the wood showing here away as well while I'm holding this still. And this is going to be so cute. I do have that bow that we made, you know, when I made the bow maker, and if it's not too big, I thought that would be cute on the stem up here. So let's let go and see how we're coming here. Oh, this is so pretty. So pretty. I love how this looks. All right, I do want to incorporate a couple more little things here. I have this little flower. I want to fill her in, and we're going to fill in the side gaps over here. So I'm going to look for the perfect place for this, which I think is going to be right. Let me cut that off, actually. There. All right. And this is just going to be glued right up in here, wherever that hits. And it's got a little tendril, a little wiry tendril, and this one we're going to stick right in over here. Oh my gosh, so cute. We're going to get a little bit of Spanish moss out, and we're going to fill in those little sides. We're going to put a little bit of Spanish moss around the little neck of the stem. And then I don't know if this bow is, I kind of love sometimes when you have a little project with a big bow, but we don't want to take away from our project either. Oh, we're almost out of Spanish moss here. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit and double it. There goes my itchy nose again. Excuse me. And I like to just roll it like a hot dog, you know, when you're playing with Play-Doh. And I'm just going to glue that right on my stem, or right around my stem, like so. Gives it more life. Hold it down for a second. Can you guys hear all the stuff going on around me outside? There's beep, beep, beeping, and that needs to be down a little bit. Ow! That's hot. All right, let's shove some of our Spanish moss down into the sides here so you can't see our green foam. So I got a good amount here. I'm going to split that in half, tuck it all into itself so it's going to stay together. You know, I like make a little bit of a little nest with it. And I'm just going to glue that right in. Like so. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Same amount. Twine it with each other. Make a little nest, if you will. And then I'm going to glue that right into this side. Getting a runny nose here. And then I'm just going to stick a sprig here and a sprig there in our floral arrangement. And I think we will put a little bit on the moss itself because I'm going to stick a little bit right down in here. And a little bit down, right on the moss. Stick that right in here next to some bittersweet. And one more little batch and that'll do it. We'll try to get a bow on here and see what happens. Stick that right down in there. Ooh, that was hot too. I want a little one, another little bunch of moss down in here somewhere. Yeah. Just make little spaces, you know, to stick it in and have it sticking out all over the place, and it really makes the project come alive. So this is what our sides look like now. You cannot see any floral foam. This is the top of our pumpkin. This is the bottom of our pumpkin. And this is our beautiful arrangement in our pumpkin. Now, I was thinking of putting a couple of, let's see, first of all, our bow. Let's try our bow. The bow is way too overpowering. No bow. No bow. We could do another kind of bow, but I am going to just mush this around a little bit here. And what about if we do a little bow with our tube mesh? I like that idea. I'm just going to cut a piece of tubing. And I am just going to, let's see, what do I want? A shoelace bow? Yeah. Yeah, let's wrap this around our fingers once, twice. We only can wrap it twice. It's just the amount that I cut. You can do more if you want. And then I'm just going to tie that up with a little piece of jute. A little
piece of jute to tie that up, and that's going to be our bow for this project. Let me double tie this. I love this. It reminds me so much of the floral arrangement that was sent to me when I had my son, Nathan. There's our little bow. We're going to cut our little tails off that we tied with jute in the back. And I am going to just glue this right on to the stem. Just like that. And I love how this came out. This is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. So happy. So happy with that. Okay, here it is. Here is our little clam pumpkin that we opened up. I know, who knew? I know. Now, I don't think the orange and black open this way. I believe they are cut this way. But I did find that the clear, not the clear, but the white does open in half. So there is our beautiful, this is just going to look beautiful on the dining room table. So pretty. I love it. Absolutely love it. This is a great time for you to give me a thumbs up. And sharing is caring. So go ahead and share this pumpkin shell. What are we going to call this? Our little pumpkin, what do we want to call this? I don't know. We're just going to call it a beautiful pumpkin floral arrangement. So pretty. Love it. Absolutely love it. And so go ahead and share this with all your friends, family, and social media. And until the next time that I see everybody, please pray for us. Our hurricane is really close. And yeah, so we definitely need some prayers. I'm asking the Lord to blow it out to sea. And until I see you again, I hope everybody that is also going to get this hurricane is well and safe when I see you the next time. Until then, be good and do good. Bye now.